The Hrafn Viking shipyard. If you want to build your own Viking boat, this podcast is for you. My name is Andy Bennett. Join me as I undertake the step-by-step process to build and sail a replica of a 900-year-old Viking lapstrake sailboat. Specifically, I'm building a replica of a 7.7 meter long Viking workboat that was found in Denmark, and it dates to 1130 AD. Boat dimensions come from the Gislinge boat open source project that's published by the Viking Ship Museum in Roskilde, Denmark. Today's podcast covers how I built a shave horse. This is a horse head or dumb head or dog head style of a shave horse that's been in use for hundreds of years, back to medieval times. I'm not sure if Vikings used them, but they used some form of a vise and workbench, most likely to hold things while they were carving. They're very useful devices. This one is a combination workbench and vise, and this central piece, the pendulum here, is the dog head. And what it does is it holds pieces of wood. Say if this is the thing that I'm carving on, it holds it in position with your feet so that you can grip it, and you can use something like a shave knife to carve on it without having to hold it with your hands. So you've got a secure way of holding it, and you can adjust it very quickly. And if you have to go to the other side, you can just switch it around, and you don't have to mess with changing a vice grip or adjusting clamps or getting up and moving things around. So it's a very useful tool, and it doesn't take that long to make, and it's not very expensive. So I found it to be a very useful thing to build if I'm going to be building a Viking ship, because there's a lot of pieces to a boat that are requiring to be hand shaped with something like a shave knife or something else that needs to be gripped. This particular style of a shave horse I found to be quite useful. It's not very complex. It's just basically a bench. It's got some legs. It's got an inclined table here, and then it's got a foot peg here that can be removed just by tapping it on one side. You can take it out. This part, the pendulum, I can adjust it up and down depending on the size. If I need to put in larger stock or smaller stock, I can bump this peg out and I can move it up a notch, or I can move it down a notch just by having additional holes drilled in the pendulum arm. And then what I've done also is I've made two different heights in the head itself, so that for just minor adjustments, if I've got a piece of stock that's really wide, I can put it on one side, and then if I've got something that's smaller, I put it on the other side. So quite handy. Then the other thing that I've done is I've taken some 1/4-inch bull hide, and I put that on the gripping parts here, so that if I'm working with softwood, I can still grip it very tightly and not have to worry about it cutting into the wood and leaving little dents. So I found it to be quite useful for the build. I thought I would share that with you as something that is a tool that I found to be quite useful. And again, I didn't find it that expensive. And the remaining parts of this video, I've captured a couple of short clips on my camera of the build process. I didn't capture everything as I was building it, but basically I used an axe to split the log out. It was a dead ash tree that had been killed by the emerald ash borer in our area here, and every piece on here except for the dowels came from that same ash tree. And then I used a chainsaw to cut out the groove here for where the pendulum goes through, and I used the chainsaw basically to cut this incline table out of that same split log. And the legs came from the same log as well. So basically, with the exception of a couple of lag bolts that I used to hold the incline table in place, the total cost for this was about $10, maybe $12. A pretty cost-effective tool. It sits in my garage when I don't use it. I can take the legs off, I can take this pendulum off, I can throw it right in the back of my Jeep. I take it with me to Viking festivals in the area, and that's why I opted to put some wood plugs on here to hide the lag bolts so that it looks kind of rustic. I hope you found this video useful. If you did, please like the video and subscribe to my podcast so that you don't miss any episodes. And as always, if you're in the Minnesota area, please feel free to stop in. Helping hands are always welcome at the Hrafn Viking Ship.